Hello, beautiful goddess. Thank you so much for watching this video. In this video, I'm going to go over what this quiz means. The quiz I'm referring to is the quiz that I sent you to kick off the 40-day reconnection and transformation. The point of the quiz is to basically inspire you to connect and deepen your focus and your intention over the next 40 days and get a little bit more clear about what aspect of your hormonal chakra system would need the most support. The questions that I ask in the quiz are some of the exact same things I will gather in my first initial visit, which will help direct our focus and help me understand just what hormones we want to address. Remember, your health is a layering process of assessing and working and balancing all aspects of your health. So, whether you're working on just generally improving your well being, your energy level, the way you feel, the way you look, or you're working on maybe a more complex health issue or challenge, such as fertility or transitioning into perimenopause or dealing with some pesky hormonal issues, cysts, fibroids, etc., this quiz serves as a foundation for you to understand and also to get clear on which aspect of health we want to work on. So I'm going to kick it off by going through each of the sections and giving you a little bit of insight on what it means if you were to have answered always or sometimes. If you have not done the quiz, I totally understand. A lot of women are super busy, and it did require that you printed it off because there wasn't a way for you to do it online. I really recommend, if you have the time to do it, it can really refine and dial in the chakras and the hormones that you are going to want to pay attention to in the next 6 weeks. As I made the quiz up with my assistant Kenji, thank you so much, Kenji, we created this over time. Basically, it was the same questions I was asking women, and when people would reach out to me, I want you to order me hormone tests, or I want you to help me with my hormones, I needed to know just which area of their health was really an issue, because after all, sometimes those wouldn't even be hormonal issues. So my intention is to help you get very clear on some new things that you can introduce in your life, that you can phase out of maybe your life, and just invite you to upgrade your thoughts in your actions and your feelings and the day-to-day choices that you make that can really enhance your overall health and give you a connected hormonal system and balance. So, starting with the quiz, the first section, second section, third section all have to do with your energy, how you feel in the morning when you wake up, how you feel in the afternoon, and how your sleeping is going. That all has to do with your primary fundamental root chakra, adrenal hormone cortisol pattern. That's what we're going to talk about in week 1. If you answered any, always, or sometimes in the first area, your morning cortisol probably needs a little assistance, and it may have to do with the quality of sleep. So we're going to want you to pay special attention to healing the adrenals. That might be the first thing you tackle and approach in this 40-day transformation, which can be absolutely life-changing. Because as you'll see, we're building a foundation from the bottom up and the top down hormonally and in our life. So, section 1, morning adrenals, section 2, afternoon adrenals, and the evening all have to do with similar patterns. Especially for women, we have very common what's called the reverse cortisol pattern. Women are tired in the morning and then they get more energy in the evening. So I invite you to just sort of reflect on how you feel in the day and how you would like to have energy improved. I will invite you to know any adrenal issue is the first thing we need to tackle, and it's going to help you tremendously if you're having low immunity, pain in your body, or you're dealing with any other health issue. I cannot drive that point home more enough. The section on emotions, this is very telltale. As energetic beings, women are very much more attuned to the emotions of other people around them, and we can tend to absorb and empathically take on the feelings and the emotional states of the people around us. So I want to help encourage you just to understand that's very common, and also I'm going to give you some tips during this workshop and some strategies that I use to help clear my energy. The section 4 and 5 also have to do with adrenals, and this is a reflection of the cortisol stress hormone that is in the tissues. And when we start to see symptoms such as belly fat that can't be gotten rid of without diet, having anxiety, pain in the body, swelling, difficulty relaxing, feeling really tense in the muscles, especially in the upper shoulders, back, and lower back, that is a symptom of not only high cortisol in the tissue, stress hormone, it's also sometimes a symbol of some nutritional deficiencies, in particular minerals. And I'm going to go over minerals, so I want you to start thinking about that. How are you getting minerals in your diet? And what minerals are you taking? And are you even taking minerals? The next section is the section 6, and this is a huge topic for women. It has to do with the thyroid. And in Chinese medicine, our thyroids have to do with the fire element. And this is an interesting concept because when we think of fire, we think of it being hot metabolically. In Western medicine, we think of the thyroid as kind of governing our metabolism. Women have a particular delicate thyroid system. We're going to talk all about it. Thyroid really has to do a lot with the thoughts and our feelings. Each thought and feeling and emotional state affects a particular body system. And the thyroid for women sometimes, not always, has to do with the feeling that there isn't enough time. And that is very common for women, especially if they're mothering or running a business. It's this concept of not having enough time. There's not enough time. Another aspect of the thyroid is toxicity. So I talk a lot about in this 6-week class about toxins, hidden sources of toxins, and toxins that are going to disrupt the thyroid and all the other hormones. Something that is very important for you to know is we want to protect our thyroid. We do not want to spray perfume on our neck. If you're having a thyroid issue, you're going to really want to pay particular attention to that week where we go over the components of healthy thyroid, what the thyroid needs to function, and the things that undermine thyroid function that you might not have ever thought about. One of them is spraying perfume on the neck. Women do that a lot. The other section, 7 and 8, about the yin, that has to do all with estrogen. And as a female who has ovaries, a uterus, or has once had a uterus or ovaries, women are going to have more of a relationship to estrogen. And that's going to show up differently at different phases in life, cycle, your hormonal phase, and it's also going to show up differently for the quality of adrenal health that you have. So if you answered yes or sometimes to anything in section 7, that may indicate some estrogen imbalance, either too little estrogen or too much. And I'm going to talk about how we want to support our estrogen at a very particular time of the month and with particular foods and seeds. Section 8 is going to be all about progesterone, so we're going to talk about that as well. Progesterone tends to go down after around 35 to 42 years of age, and when this hormone is out of balance, it may show up somewhere in the luteal phase of the cycle with PMS. That's usually when I have women come seek my support, is that they're having PMS or they're having very irregular periods and they're not able to kind of get a handle on things. And that's what prompts them to figure out that they have a hormonal issue, because they just don't feel well right before their menstrual cycle. The section 9 is a little indication of the level of testosterone health, and we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get into week 2 as well. If any of those things are going on, we will want to also talk about adrenals for you, because that is the site of testosterone production for women, one of the sites of testosterone production for women, whether it's too high or it's too low, and we want to bring balance. Everything we're going to be talking about is how to bring balance into your system. If something's not working well, we're going to want to encourage it, and if something's working a little bit too high, we're going to want to try to bring a little bit more regulation and balance. The next section, 10 and 11, are really powerful indicators, if you answer it always or sometimes to some of the symptoms in there, of your digestive detoxification, um, and also your gut biome health. And that is going to be in the third chakra. So we talk about the third chakra in week 3. We're going to talk about liver and gallbladder health, insulin resistance, and also candida, and some things that might affect the digestive process that may be undermining health. And we're going to look at some of the hidden inflammatory foods. Not so hidden, they're pretty obvious. Some of you know exactly what foods bother you, and some of you maybe are guessing still. So we're going to talk about how it is that you can get really clear on what foods you want to avoid and what things that in your diet may be causing some imbalance in the third chakra. Third chakra has to do with digestion, detoxification, purification, elimination, and your general gut biome. And that's why I'm going to talk a little bit more about glyphosate, and that being a huge hormone disruptor. The section 12 and 13 and 14 all are indicators of hidden toxicities that may be showing up in one's life. And this is going to give you the opportunity as we go through the successive weeks and we talk about heavy metals and we talk about mold exposure and little things that can undermine health, that how we address it might need to happen in layers. But if you answered yes to anything in those sections, we're going to try to help you get very clear on some of the things that may want to be eliminated from your life or addressed. So overall, this is basically the quiz, just helping you get clear on what it is that you can do to bring more life force energy into your life, into your cells, how you can easily support the natural detoxification process that's already happening right now in your body as you are listening to this video. Detoxification is happening. It doesn't have to be a real, hard, difficult undertaking. It can actually be really enjoyable, and it can actually be something that you can easily integrate into your life. So thank you so much for doing the quiz. I hope that gave you some insight on some of the areas that you want to pay attention to over the next few weeks. And remember, you are a whole person and you deserve a whole person approach to healing. And I appreciate the opportunity to support you in your journey in your health. Thank you so much.